Hi, sir. Good evening. Sir, is my voice audible? That's right. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, kindly switch off your videos. Okay. Mm, right, sir. Good. Still, people are joining. Okay. Meanwhile, let's start our lab servers. Okay. So that people will be, so that the others can also log in at this time. Um, yes, sir. So we are starting the DevOps paid batch from today by 6:15 p.m. Okay. Directly, we'll be jumping into the configuration management. Okay. So why the configuration management? So what is configuration management? Why tools are required for the configuration management? And what is the differences between Ansible, Puppet, and Chef? Okay. So I'll start these things by today. Maybe tomorrow we'll be discussing about the Ansible architecture and the details of Ansible. And from Wednesday, we will be jumping into the practicals of Ansible. Okay. Right, sir. Mm, so, yeah, actually, what we were discussing, sir. So, in the previous class, what have we discussed? Could you please remind me? So, meanwhile, I'll log into my cloud instance. Mm, Connecting to one server to another. So, what we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, connecting from one server to another server and connecting with host names. Yes, right. So, how to connect from one server to another server by using host names, right? So, if you want to connect by using host names, what you need to do? You need to make an entry in /etc/hosts file, right? So, from server 1 to server 2, if you want to connect by using host name, hmm, first on server 1, what you need to do on server 1? You need to open /etc/hosts file, right? You need to open /etc/hosts file, and you need to make an entry of the server 2's IP address as well as the host name, like this server 2.such. Okay, so that your server 1 can resolve server 2's IP address with the host name, right? So how to connect from one Linux box to another Linux box? By using SSH protocol, right? Username at the rate either IP address or the host name, right? So now today uh, we'll see how to connect. Okay, how to connect from one server to another server without entering the passwords. Without entering the passwords. Okay, so how to set up a password-less authentications. Now we'll see how to set up password-less authentications. Because if you want to connect like this to any of the servers, it will ask you to enter the password of the username. Then only you can be able to log in into the other server, right? So now how to set up how to set up passwordless authentication, how to set up passwordless authentication from one server to server for an user account. Okay, that means now we are setting up a passwordless authentication for one user. Okay, for one user to from one server to other server. Okay. So how to set up the passwordless authentication? As I said, for an user, right? Let's say my requirement is I want to set up a passwordless authentication for user Mohan. Okay, I want to set up passwordless authentication for user Mohan on server 1 to server 2. As I said, from server 1 to server 2. On both the servers, user Mohan account is there, right? So for my user Mohan, I want to set up passwordless authentication. Okay, so whenever Mohan wants to log into server 2 from server 1, it should not ask to enter the password. Okay, observe, sir. Without establishing the passwordless authentication, the authentication model will be like this. So let me first log into my server 1. Okay. Right, sir. So let me switch as user Mohan on server 1. Switch as user Mohan. Just a minute, sir. Right, sir. Yeah. So I switch as user Mohan. Let's say now user Mohan is on which server? On server 1. Now if user Mohan wants to log into server 2, if user Mohan wants to log into server 2, how he could be able to log in? SSH. What is the username? Mohan. Yet he needs to log into satya.com. Yes, he can be able to log in by using hostname. Why? I think in the previous class we have set up host name based authentications, right? Right. Now, sir, it is asking password. If you enter the password of user Mohan on server 2, then only you can be logged into server 2. Otherwise, you cannot be able to log into server 2, right? So every time this Mohan user wants to log into server 2 from server 1, okay, it is asking to enter the password, right? Now our intention is whenever Mohan user wants to log into server 2, it should not ask the password like this. So without entering the password, he could be able to log into server 2. So for that, what we need to do? Okay, first I'll tell you the commands, then we will discuss, okay, what happens internally when you enter those commands. Okay, first we will learn about the commands. Okay, because even though if you don't know the concept, these commands would be very, very helpful. Okay. So even in the interviews also they'll ask this question, how to set up passwordless authentication to be able to write the commands. Okay, so at that time, if you can able to at least enter these commands, or if you can able to write these commands, this should be fine. Okay, if you know the backend concept of that one, yes, you can go ahead and explain the concept clearly in the interview. Okay, because this question, someone asked this question to me as well. Okay, like almost 6 years back, when I was attended in the interview for a DevOps engineer, at that time they asked this question: how to set up passwordless authentication from one server to another server? Could you please write down the steps? Okay. At that time I have written the steps, and then I have clearly explained what happens internally when you enter these commands. Okay. Now, so always remember, your answers should not be one-word answers. Always try to explain it clearly. Okay. So in order to explain it clearly and elaboratively, you should know the concept first. So always first depends on the concept, right? So first, if you want to set up a passwordless authentication from one server to another server, that too for a user account. Okay, sir, please remember our entire DevOps course is depends on this. Okay, in future also you need to set up passwordless authentication from one server to another servers. Okay, in the real time also you need to do this one. It's like a basic ABCD. If you don't know this one, you cannot work anything on DevOps side. Okay, right. So you'll be putting 4 years or 5 years experience on DevOps, right? So at least you should know this, at least to clear the first round of interview. Okay, right, sir. Now you got my requirement, right? Everyone, you got my requirement, right? So what is my requirement? Every time if Mohan user wants from server 1 to server 2, server 1 to server 2, it should not ask the password like this. Okay, it should not ask the password like this. So without entering the password, my Mohan user wants to connect to server 2. That's why we need to upload. Yeah, what's saying, sir? Sorry. That's why we need to create a passwordless authentications. Okay, then how to create? Observe, sir. So if you want to set up passwordless authentication for user Mohan, first you should be logged as user Mohan. Login as user Mohan on server 1. Login as user Mohan on server 1. Directly, more precisely, I'll write this one from server 1 to server 2. Okay, it would be good for you as well, right? It would be more precisely. Yeah, server 1 to server 2. It's good, sir. Okay, so login as user Mohan on server 1. So once you log in, you need to do one thing, sir. Make sure you are into your home directory. Okay, make sure you are into your home directory. So after switching as user Mohan or after switching as the user account, just make sure that you are in your home directory. Now enter this command ssh-keygen. ssh-keygen. It will ask you to enter 3 times. Enter, just enter 3 times. Only 2 commands are required, sir. First ssh-keygen is the command. Next ssh-copy-id space say Mohan @ So you want to set up passwordless authentication for Mohan on server 2, right? So that is what the details I am giving over here. Yeah. That's it. ssh-copy-id Mohan @ server2.satya.com. That's it, sir. Okay. So it will ask you to. So in order to copy, only these 2 commands are as I discussing. So only these 2 commands are enough. So after entering these 2 commands, whenever this user Mohan wants to log into, then try logging as user Mohan on server 2. Then observe, sir. Okay. If you want to confirm whether you have set up the passwordless authentication successfully, just now after this, just enter ssh Mohan @ server2.abc.com. server2.satya.com. Okay. If it asks the password, then if it asks to enter you the password, then you haven't successfully established a passwordless authentication. Okay, something went wrong over here. Okay, if it didn't ask the password directly, if you have logged into server 2, then you can say that you can, yeah, then you can verify that. That's how you can verify that you have successfully established a passwordless authentication from one server to another server. Sir, clear? First, let me try to execute these commands and then we'll discuss what's happened internally. Okay. So first, only 2 commands to remember, sir. Only 2 commands to remember. ssh-keygen and ssh-copy-id Mohan @ server2.satya.com. That's it. Okay, only these two commands to remember. If you have a pen and paper, just copy these two commands. I am giving 1 minute of time to you. Only these two commands are required. Right, sir. So previously it was asking the password like this. Now let's go ahead and enter this command ssh-keygen. This is what the first command I said, right? Enter. Okay. So it is asking some details. Enter file. No need to worry. Just press enter, enter, enter. Don't enter anything. Okay. I mean, don't type anything. Just press enter, enter, enter. Okay. Until you get this dollar prompt again. Until you get this dollar prompt again. Okay. Sir, got clarity? Say sh-keygen, only single command. Enter the command. After that, please don't type anything. Just press enter, enter, enter. Okay. Just 3 times you need to press enter. Enter button. Okay. That's it. After that, what is the second command that you need to do? Say ssh-copy-id. Okay. So you want to set up passwordless authentication to user Mohan at to which server? server2.satya.com, right? server2.satya.com. Enter. Okay. So it is asking you to enter the password. It is asking you to enter the password. Let's say. Done. Done. Done, sir. Now let's try checking, sir. Only 2 commands. Okay. ssh-keygen, there is the first command. This is what the second command. I haven't do anything. Okay, I haven't done anything. Now try logging in. Try logging as user Mohana server 2 and verify whether we have set up the passwordless authentication successfully or not. server2.abc, not abc, satya.com. server2.satya.com, right? Enter. So this time, did it ask you to enter the password? Sir, after entering this command, it didn't ask me to enter the password of server 2. Ask me to enter the password of server 2. Directly, I have logged into server 2. If you want to confirm, yes, say enter postname. That's it. You are on to server 2. Sir, clear? Sir, clear everyone? Clear with the commands? Sir, clear with the commands? Only 2 commands you need to enter if you want to set up passwordless authentication. Okay. I don't know how you will remember this command. Just by heart these commands. That's it. Okay. If you want to set up a password, now you tell me, sir. Now you tell me. Let's say on both the servers, I have a user account called Madhuri. I have user accounts called Madhuri. Okay. Now I want to set up passwordless authentication from server 1 to server 2 as for user Madhuri. Then I need to log in as user Madhuri. And then I need to perform only 2 commands, ssh-keygen and ssh-copy-id to user Madhuri on server 2. satya.com. Yes, Madhuri. Server 2 again asking the password. Okay. While entering the second command, it will ask the password. This command. While performing this command, it will ask the password because it needs to copy the keys. Okay. Madhuri, answer to your question. While performing this command, it will ask you to enter the password. After this command, then Try logging as your user account. Try logging with user account and verify whether it is asking the password or not. I will be online, Madhuri. Okay, I'll be waiting for your answer. Just enter the password over here in this command and then try logging as this user. Is it clear, right? This time it should not ask you to enter the password. It will not ask you to enter the password, right? Clear, sir? Now, so what happens exactly in the backend? When you enter these commands, what happens exactly in the backend? Okay, so when you enter SSH-keygen, as user Mohan, internally what it will do is, it will go ahead and create two files called as a public key. It will create two keys, one public key and one private key, one public key and inside one hidden directory called .ssh. So when you enter SSH-keygen, what it will do is, it will create one hidden directory. Where it will create the hidden directory from where you have entered this command. That is what important thing. Okay, why I said, please make sure before entering the command, please make sure that you are entering this command from your home directory only. Because in order to search for the keys, it will be very, very easy if you enter this command from your home directory, because these keys will be under your home directory. Okay. So it will create one hidden directory into your home directory. Okay. So within that hidden directory, it will have these two key files. What are those two key files? Public key and private key. Okay. Public key and private key. This public key file is denoted with id_rsa.pub. Okay, this private key file is denoted with id_rsa. So two files will be created with the name id_rsa.pub and id_rsa. Okay, so id_rsa.pub is the public key and id_rsa is the private key. Okay, now when you enter this command ssh-copy id mohan@server2.satya.com, then what this command will do is, okay, it will now this command will create one hidden directory under the home directory of this user account. So what is the home directory of this user account? /home/mohan, right? Again, .ssh. Under this .ssh, okay, to create one hidden directory. Okay, so within this hidden directory, it will create one file with the name authorized_keys. It will create one file. Okay, when you enter this command internally, it will create one home directory. It will create one hidden directory called .ssh into your home directory, into the home directory of Mohan on server 2. And within the hidden directory, it will create one file with the name authorized_keys. So within this authorized_keys file, I'll write within the hidden directory. One file will be created. With the name authorized_keys. So within this authorized_keys, what it will do is, it will copy the public key. Okay, the value of the public key. Okay, right. It will save the public key of user Mohan on server 1. Okay. So in this file, it will save the public key of Mohan on server 1. Okay, this is what happens internally when you enter these commands. Okay, now let's try to understand how the communication is happening. without entering the password. Let's see. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, as I said, this is server 1. Okay. Yeah. This is server 2. Okay. So on the server 1, we are having user account called Mohan. Here also we'll be having user account called Mohan. Okay. This is Mohan's user account. Mohan's home directory. Here also. Mohan's home directory. Now, this is server 1. Right? This is server 1. And this is server 2. Now, as I said, first you enter the command ssh-keygen on server 1. Within this Mohan's home directory, what it will do, it will create again one folder with the name .ssh. One folder with the name .ssh. I'll write over here. The name .ssh. Okay. So within this .ssh, it will create one public key and one private key, 2 key files. It will create within this .ssh, it will be having one public key and one private key. One public key and private key. Okay. So remember, assume that I'm a little bit weak in drawing. Please bear with me. So I'm trying my level best in order to explain this concept with you. Okay. Assume that, okay, it is a key and the logs looks something like this, right? The logs look something like this. Okay. Assume that when you enter ssh-keygen, the command, it will create one private key, and one public key. Okay, one private key and one public key. Just imagine like this. So when you enter, after entering this ssh-copy-id command, when you enter the second command, ssh-copy-id, where you are entering, where you are copying the id to mohan@server2.satya.com, right? To the user account on server2.satya.com. So what it will do, when you enter this command, when you enter the second command ssh-copy-id, what it will do is, it will go ahead and create one hidden directory in this .ssh as well. Okay, in this Mohan's user account with the name .ssh. Where also it will create one user account with .ssh. Okay, so within this .ssh, it will create one file. So what is the file name? The file name is authorized_keys. What is the file name? Authorized_keys. This is what the file name that it is going to create. Authorized_keys. Authorized_keys. What it contains? So it will go ahead and create one directory with the name .sh. Into the .sh, it will go ahead and create a file with the name authorized_keys. So what exactly this file contains? Assume that it is authorized_keys. Now when you enter ssh-copy-id, what it will do? It will go ahead and take this public key. Okay, it will copy the public key into the file authorized underscore keys, which is under the user's home directory, which is under .ssh. This .ssh is where it is. This .ssh is under the home directory of the user Mohan. Now what it will do? It will copy the public key into this authorized underscore keys. Okay. So internally, this is what the things that happens. In simple words, if you want to say, when you enter SSH-keygen, it will create one private key and one public key. When you enter SSH-copy-ID, it will copy the public key to the user account. The same public key will be copied. So from now onwards, from now onwards, when you have the public key over here, so from now onwards, whenever the user Mohan on server 1 wants to connect to server 2, that to his user account, okay, want to log into his user account, or want to communicate with this server, or want to log in with this server, okay, he is having a private key, right? Here he is having the public key. So he will be, whenever the user on server wants to communicate to server 2 or wants to connect to server 2, he will be, so the authentication will be like this, okay. That means here it is having the lock, right? The public key, okay. So this Mohan is him, right? So he will be entering to this server 2 with his private key, okay. He would be unlocking the account with his private key, okay. Only the user Mohan on server 1 can be able to unlock this user account without entering the password, okay. That is what the authentication model looks like, okay. That is what it works, okay. Sir, got clarity? Something, sir, got clarity? What happens internally when you create this, when you enter these two commands? Sir, clear with everyone? Clear with everyone? Clear with everyone? Yes. Assume that it's one lock and one key. The lock is public key, okay, and the key is a private key file. So whoever is having a private key of the for the public key, whoever is having the private key, he can unlock the key. He can observe, sir. He can unlock the lock with that key, right? So whoever is having the private key can be able to unlock the public key for the communication. That's it. As simple as that. Okay. Imagine a key and lock. Lock is the public key and key is the private key. Okay. So whoever is having the private key, they can open, they can unlock the machine, right? They can unlock this. They can unlock the lock. Okay. So if you are trying to unlock this lock with another private key, no, it's not possible, because this key, this public key and private keys is a pair. Okay. So you, like how you cannot enable or how you cannot unlock the real lock with another key, okay, not with the same set of key. If you try to unlock with another set of key, it will not open the lock, right? Likewise, here also exactly the same thing will happen. Okay, when you enter SSH-keygen, it will create one public key and private key. When you enter SSH-copy-ID, the second command, it will copy the public key from server 1 to server 2. Okay, so from now onwards, user account Mohan on server 1 can be able to log into server 2 without entering the password. So without entering the password means in the backend, this authentication model, this key-based authentication model will work out in the backend. Okay. So with the keys, it will be able to communicate to server 2. It can be able to log into server 2. Sir, clear? Sir, is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Purpose of private key to unlock the public key. Purpose of private key is what? To unlock the public key. Okay. So setting up a passwordless authentication means it's a security breach, right? So while setting up the passwordless authentication, we need to enable a powerful authentication than passwordless authentication. That's why we are enabling these things. Okay. So on the back end, we are doing key-based authentications over here. Okay. Here we are enabling key-based authentications in the back end. Okay. If some other user wants to log into, let's say Madhuri user account is there in this server. If Madhuri wants to log into user Mohan on server 2, she cannot be able to log in. That means without entering the password of user Mohan. Or else if Madhuri wants to log into her user account on server 2, she needs to enter the password, because we haven't set up the passwordless authentication between these two users, right? We have set up the passwordless authentication between these two. So let's go and check, sir. Let's go and check how it looks like. Okay. Sorry. As I said, on server 1, it will be creating one hidden directory, right? How to see? ls -a. Here you will find the hidden directory with the name .ssh. So let me go ahead and see .ssh. Say ls. Observe, sir. Here we are finding these two files: id_rsa and id_rsa.pub. Okay. So this id_rsa.pub is the public key. So this is how the public key looks like. Okay. If you try to do a cat command, this is how the public key looks like. This is how the public key looks like. So if you want to display the private key, yes, you can go ahead and like this. Observe, sir. This is how the private key looks like. Okay, clear? So it will have these two things: id_rsa and id_rsa.pub. Okay, it is a known host file. It will have the information to which servers it has copied the public keys. Okay, those will be stored under this known hosts. So as I said, observe, sir. This is what the public key, right? id_rsa.pub. Next. So when you copy to, so let me switch as user Mohan. I think that right. So after entering the ssh-copy-id command, as I said, the public key of the user Mohan will be copied to one file with the name authorized_keys on the home directory of user Mohan on server 2, right? So let me go ahead and check that one. So I'm logging into user Mohan. I'm logging into Mohan user account on server2.apc.com. server2.satya.com. Now I have successfully logged into server 2 without entering the password. Let me go ahead and check that one. So ls -a, whether it has .sh directory or not. Yes, it is having .sh directory. It's fine. Yes, here, observe, sir. It is having only one file with the name authorized_keys. So try to display the authorized_keys. Observe, sir. It is having the public key of. It is the same key, right? Observe, the same key. So this key will be copied to the authorized_keys on this server. Okay. So this key is for. This key is of whom? Say mohan@server1.satya.com. So on this server for the user account Mohan, so this is what the key that it belongs to. Clear, sir? Now you tell me, sir. Now you tell me where it is. Right. Now you tell me. So we have set up passwordless authentication from server 1 to server 2. That too for user Mohan, right? Now if Mohan user from server 2, if Mohan user wants to connect to server 1, whether it will ask to enter the password or not. The reverse way. We have set up the passwordless authentication from server 1 to server 2 for user Mohan. That is fine. Now, if Mohan user wants to log into server 2, wants to log into server 1 from server 2, it will ask the password or not. Will it ask the password or not? The reverse way. Yes, it will ask the password, because we haven't set up passwordless authentication from this server to this server, right? From server 2 to server 1, we haven't set up. because on server 2 it didn't have the public keys and private keys. We have it generated over here, right? So now if you want to set up a passwordless authentication from server 2 to server 1, from server 2 to server 1, again what you need to do on this server also, with the same user account, you need to enter ssh-keygen command, so that it will go ahead and create a public key and a private key over here. And then you need to enter sh-copy-id mohan@server1.abc.com, so that the public key of the user Mohan will be sent to this particular server. Right? So is it clear? This is how you can set up a passwordless authentication from one server to another server. Okay. So one important announcement. So as I said, from today onwards, we are going to start a new batch for DevOps, right? So just now I have got a message from the management. So to continue that class, this paid DevOps class, like today and tomorrow, it will be with the same link. Okay. So it will be with the same link. If you haven't registered, please go ahead and register. Okay. So only the paid people or only the registered people will get the new link from Wednesday. Okay. For today and tomorrow, you can attend the class. You can attend this paid DevOps class with the same link. Okay. From Wednesday onwards, only the paid students will receive the new link to attend the classes. Okay. So is it clear? Is it clear? For today and tomorrow, we will be conducting the paid class. Okay, with this link only. From Wednesday onwards, only the paid batch or paid students will get the new link. Just this link, the link which you are using to attend the class, this class. Okay. For today and tomorrow, we will be conducting this paid DevOps class with this link only. Okay. And from Wednesday onwards, the people who are registered will get the new link. Okay. Yes, Srinu, you can go ahead and talk to the management regarding to this YouTube video. Okay. Just call them. They will upload this. They will upload it, or they will give you a time limit, or they'll say one time frame, like by tomorrow or by day after tomorrow or by the end of this day. Okay, you will get the time limit. Mohan and Madhuri. Mohan public key copied in server 2. Can Madhuri access the server 2 with where? What is your doubt, Srikant? Suppose I have two users. Okay, Mohan and Madhuri. Mohan public key copied in server 2. Can Madhuri access that server to where Mohan serves the public key? No, she cannot. No, she cannot. Because, yes, okay, you are saying that Mohan and Madhuri, you are having two user accounts, Mohan and Madhuri over here, right? So if you copy the public keys from Mohan to Mohan, then what your question is, can you able to log in as user Madhuri to, from user Madhuri to this user Mohan on server 2, right? This is what you are asking, right? So this time this Madhuri user should know the password of user Mohan, then only she can be able to log in. Otherwise, the passwordless authentication will not work over here, because the public key and private key are strictly for one single user account only. Okay. For Madhuri, if you want to generate again the public key and private key, those will be another set of public keys and private keys. Okay. If Madhuri has the password of user Mohan, then Madhuri can create one public key and private key. Then she can copy the public key to user Mohan. Then only she can be able to communicate to user Mohan, or she can be able to log in without entering the password to user Mohan. Okay. So the public key and private key is for strictly for one user account only, right? Right. SSH-copy-id. It says actually the user account should be there before entering, before performing this command. This user account should be there on that server. And one more thing, on this server, answer to your question. Who asked this question? Let me check the name. Yeah, Shrikant. Shrikant, not Shrikant. Shreyas. Okay. Please make sure that you have modified the default logging behavior of EC2 instance. Okay. If you haven't done this, it will not allow to copy the password. So, sorry, it will not allow you to copy the public key over there. Okay. You might get the error of public key denied, public key access denied. The error would be like that only, right? So for that, on both the servers, what you need to do? For both the servers, what you need to do? You need to enable the password or password authentications as yes in sshd_config file. Okay. You might have forgot to do that one. Just you might have forgot to do that one. Just go ahead and first enable password authentications, then try this command. Okay. So by today 6:15 p.m. I am going to start Ansible. Okay, you can join with the same link. Okay, and the registered people will get the new link from Wednesday. Okay, so I'll be conducting this paid class from on the new link next day after tomorrow. Okay, for today and tomorrow I will be conducting the class with the same link. Right, sir? So take a 15 minutes break. And interested people can join to that DevOps class. Okay, so that's all, sir. That's all for today. And tomorrow I'll directly start the version control system, Git. Okay, why do we require version control system? Okay, what is the source code repository in this evening 5 o'clock batch? Okay, right, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for attending this session. Be sharp by 6:15 p.m. for the DevOps class. Sir, 6:15 Madhuri. 6:15, not 6:30. 6:15. Okay. Domain name server cannot understand. Explain in a simple, please. DNS server, right? So if you want to connect to any server with the name, so the purpose of a DNS is to resolve the host names with the IP address. Safi. Okay. As I said, okay, they will be having a separate server which is called as a DNS server. So within that server, they will maintain all the servers IP addresses and host names. Okay, you will be having one server which contains all the servers IP addresses and host names. If this server wants to communicate with this server, the request first will go to this DNS server in order to get the IP address. Okay, so from this server it will take the IP address and then it will go ahead and connect to this server. Okay, let's say that this server name is server 1, this server name is server 2. If server 1 wants to communicate to server 2, okay, server 1 should have the IP address, right? Otherwise it cannot be able to communicate. So first the request will go to the DNS server. This DNS server is having the IP addresses and the host names. Okay, it will. So if server 1 wants to communicate to server 2, first the request will go to this DNS server. Here it will match with the server 2 name. Server 2. If you find server 2, it will take the corresponding IP address and it will give the IP address to server 1 to connect. Okay, DNS server means it resolves the IP address with the host names. It contains all the server's IP address and the host names. Okay, is it clear, Safi? So right, sir. So by sharp 6:15 p.m. we'll meet back for the actual DevOps course. Okay, right, sir. Thank you, sir.